A 16-year-old Ukrainian with political refugee status has been detained for attacking migrants in Milan, according to Italian media reports. The alleged neo-Nazi suspect was captured on video, severely beating his victims, two of whom are Sri Lankan nationals. Footage from subway cameras show a strongly built young man wearing militarized clothing, violently beating apparent strangers. Milanese police have detained the teenager for allegedly committing a series of attacks between the end of February and early March. When Italian authorities searched his parents' flat, they seized Nazi propaganda and a machete with the words "White Power" engraved on it. Well, let's discuss the issue here in our studio now with Italian journalist and war correspondent Andrea Lucidi. Andrea, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us today. Very disturbing images emerging out of Italy. The police also said the suspect shouted, "The fascists are back," before launching his attack. Your reaction, has there been much reaction as well in Italy to this?
Unfortunately, it's very pity to see that from Ukraine are coming in Italy such type of people. I expected to such case, not only in Italy, but in Europe in general, because since the early February 22, we saw a lot of Ukrainian, of veteran of Azov battalion and such organization like this that try to come in Europe, in Poland especially. And now this ideology, this idea can invade Europe. This is a really idea that can invade Europe now, because in Italy, in France, in Germany, in Poland, there are right now a lot of people that was ideologized during this experience in Azov or in Aidar as volunteer in the past years. And now they are free to go in Europe. They are not only Ukrainians, they are Italians, Germans, French. That, of course, they have had in the past this ideology. For this reason, they choose to fight with Azov, with Aidar. But now they are like example for youth. Like in this case, these young boys, 16 years old, fascinated with Nazi ideology in Milan and in Italy, generally, a country that had fascism, that fought against fascism with a big partisan movement. In Milan, there is a big monument in memory of Soviet partisans that fought with Italian partisans during the Resistance War. And it's very pity. For me, it's not a surprise. I expected that was only a question of the time.
Of when it might happen. You talk about radicalization, and you have, of course, a lot of families who wanted to leave a combat zone for whatever reason. But there are people who are radicalized among them that have moved into Europe. Are you fearful that this is not an isolated incident? That perhaps it's even likely that we're going to see more like this happen?
I think yes. This is the real danger for Europe now, and especially also because the European authority and the European politician pretend to not see these cases. They pretend to report to the people that these are isolated cases, not common, that not depend from the situation in Ukraine, from the problem of neo-Nazism in Ukraine, but in the fact, this is a consequence of what's happened in Ukraine, not only since 2022, but in the past years, during the last 10 years, when in Ukraine this idea, this radicalization are going on without any stop.
Yeah, and there's a lot of networks as well connected to that.
If you see something, say something.